Hello. Let's see. There you go. Hello. Good evening, everyone. It's Abby with Serenity Financial Services, your relationship accountant. Welcome to my room. Taxes for Traders 101. Come in here, say hello to me, say hi to me. I hope you guys had an amazing Monday. Mondays are usually like the toughest day, right, out of the week. But yes, come in here, guys. Wave at me. Say hi to me. You guys know how I get. I get really hype. So get hype with me. Say hello to me. Say hi to me. Wave at me. I hope you guys had an amazing Monday. Listen, I have a great guest tonight. You guys ready for my guest? Before we actually bring our guests in here, let me start off by for all of you who are new to our live. My name is Abby. I'm with Serenity Financial Services. We help business owners and retail traders maximize their tax saving. So every night we talk about taxes for traders 101. So welcome to my room. I hope you guys had an amazing, I have a great guest tonight. All my guests are so amazing. Listen, I have fun every night with you guys. So before I bring in my guest, okay, just some little rules, all right? I am not a financial advisor, all right? I am a tax accountant. So everything we discuss here tonight is for entertainment purposes and also to help our culture grow, and not only help you grow, but to help you save as much of your money as possible. Because it's one thing to make it in this market, but it's another for you to keep all of it, right? Or at least the majority of it. So come in here, say hello to me. I have an amazing guest for you guys. So don't forget, I'm not a financial advisor. You guys don't want to give me your money. Not to trade. All right, let's bring our guest in and then we'll talk a little bit. Tonight, we're really going to talk about, what you guys need to really kind of prepare for next year tax season, and just kind of like we're just going to do like some cleaning, okay? Some cleaning. So let me actually fix this so I can have some stuff for you guys. Okay, let's bring him in. I'm excited. You know what? I'm too hype for a Monday. You would think like I'd be pulling out my weed, right? It's Monday. You can only imagine what my Mondays look like. Okay, so let's bring him in here. Yes. There you go. Did you guys have a good Monday? You guys don't want to tell me? Hi, Todd. Todd is in here. He's coming, guys. I just invited him. Oh, come on, phone. Stop playing with me. Todd, all you have to do is actually just accept it. Okay. Well, while we wait for him, we'll talk a little bit, okay? So what are we going to talk about today? We're going to talk about just items that you actually need to get off of your list, right? To get off your list so you can actually get ready to have an amazing tax season. So let's talk a little bit. All right. So first thing I want you guys to check off your list realistically is check your FSA balance. Check your FSA balance, okay? All right, so if you have a flexible, okay, guys, if you have a flexible spending account, your FSA, there you go.
How you doing?
I'm doing good, Todd. How are you?
I'm doing good. Out here in Southern California, living life.
Hey. So say hello to everyone.
Hey, how's it going? Man, it's been a long, really good year.
Yes.
I'm happy to be having this conversation with you. Hopefully we can add a ton of value for everybody who's tuning in and watching,
Of
and just have a
course.
really good conversation about taxes and trading and all that good stuff.
Hey, listen, we're gonna have some fun. Can
So
you hear me?
I can. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. So we're
Okay,
gonna
yeah, I
have
can
some
hear you.
fun. So what we're going to do, guys, I will give you guys this information. Let's actually chat with Todd first, and then I'm gonna kill you guys with these taxes, preparing you guys for taxes next year. Okay. All right. So Todd, tell us a little bit about yourself and your trading journey.
Yeah. So wow, I've been investing since about 2009.
Ooh.
I graduated from Cal State San Bernardino, which is a school out in Southern California, with a degree in finance. I became a licensed financial advisor, so I worked for Edward Jones, got my Series 7, Series 66, and that was when I opened up my first brokerage account.
Okay.
And I learned so much during that time because this is during the last recession. So this is 2009 when I was working in stocks and the market had tanked in 2007, 2008. The real estate market kind of led the decline, and then um, so we're looking at all these stocks on the bottom.
Mhm.
And I didn't have much money, but I bought some Bank of America stock, and it was like super cheap. I maybe bought some shares for about like $4 a piece,
Mm.
and I made a few bucks, and I was like, this is cool. I made some money. And then years went by, and I was still working in finance, and I was just trying different things. I was trying penny stocks, and so I tried to make some money with pennies and see how that worked out. And then I ended up falling on value investing. And
Mm.
value investing has probably been the best thing for me, honestly. But then recently, around 2018, I started trading options. And so I had a ton of success trading options. That year, 2018, I mean, for me, I'd never seen anything like it, but I made like inside money another $20,000. I was making trades per day. They were like my daily salary. Actually, not even my daily salary. They were like my monthly salary at
Hey.
work. And so it's like, imagine you're working this job that you feel that's underpaying you,
Mm-hmm.
and you just made a trade that made what you'd make in a month. You start looking at a lot of people a lot differently at that point in time.
You start looking at
So
yourself a little bit differently.
that too, yeah. So and then I still have so now my portfolio is a little bit different. I have a lot of buy and hold positions, and then I also trade in and out of the market. So did pretty well last month and the month before that. A lot of what I do is swing trading earnings,
Mm.
and some people like that, some people don't like it. I like it because the volatility is always there. I like to stick with companies that I know and understand,
Okay.
companies I've been following for more than just a day, because it's very easy to see that somebody's reporting earnings and then try to hop into it and you know nothing about that stock. I want to know about that stock as opposed to just hoping that it's going to make money. So I'm
Mm.
knowing about it from a fundamental perspective and from a technical perspective.
That makes perfect sense. So pretty much, who introduced the market to you?
Probably my mom. I'm really thankful because
Mm.
um, I was in college, and when I was in college, I hit that like 2 year mark, maybe not even the 2 year mark. It wasn't even that time. I
Mhm.
knew that I was going to major in finance when I was a freshman. At the end of my freshman year, I hadn't selected that as my major until maybe the second year, but it was the bug that was placed in me. My mom is a CPA,
Mhm.
and we're actually starting to kind of work together hand in hand. And she was like, you know what, you should work in finance. You do well in finance. And I've always liked math. I've always liked just business in general. And so she put that in me. And then when I started taking finance classes, I started to watch CNBC alongside with it because I just wanted to be in the space. I started reading a bunch of books. But I think watching CNBC is one of the things that helped me out a lot because when I first started
Mm.
watching it, I had no idea what they were talking about, but I just kept it on and I kept watching it. And I told people that you're going to start picking up patterns. You're going to start hearing the
Mm.
same thing over and over and over again. You're going to start hearing the same names over and over and over again. You're starting the same people. And you're going to start digging into those people's background and finding out about them and reading the books that they've written. And so I did
Mm.
that, and I started reading up on Jim Cramer and reading up on Peter Lynch and all those guys and just kind of digging into the stock market there. But it really just started like that freshman year of college, and my mom just putting that bug in my ear.
That is so, it's so funny how you say that, because I started putting the bug in my daughter's ear when she was in ninth grade, and she kind of clearly looked at me in the eyes, be like, no, ma'am, we're not doing this. She says, you can keep it. And then in 10th grade, right, she chose psychology over economics, and I just broke down.
Oh,
But it's so amazing because you are coming from a family in finance. You know,
yep.
you're coming from a family, you know, in the financial field. So it kind of, you know, they cultivated you. You know, you got cultivated already. So what advice would you have for our young men? I know one of the things is even going into the financial um, you know, a financial or accounting degree, you don't find a lot of us, you know, you don't find a lot of us in the financial industry. So what advice do you have for either our young men or our young or girls that are a senior, they're in the senior year, they're choosing their major, they're choosing their college? What advice do you have for them, preparing them for the future?
Man, first I would say that you're more than capable of doing it. So never feel like you aren't. But one thing that you might have to do is if you're in that space, you might have to find the product that fits your actual market. So when I first got out there, I was out there trying to sell Edward Jones and Chase Private Client and Waddell and Reed, these high level products to my college friends, or maybe even some older people in my community who might not have been that established financially. And so there's a way to still help your people and make money. And so you just have to find that fit. You have to
Okay.
find what your people need and can benefit from. And when you find that, you're going to take off like crazy. So for me, I didn't realize that stock options were going to be that lucrative on both ends. I thought it was risky. I was scared. I was like, man, you know, these are super risky securities and people might lose money. But people also made a fortune. I've seen people pay off student loans. I've seen people leave their job. I've seen people make millions
Walk
upon
away.
millions of dollars with stock options. And this is something that I actually maybe thought I was trying to protect my community from because, oh, well, just do the standard safe route, the invest in the 401k, wait 20 years, do all those different things. And while those are good, you still have to supplement that. And I think you have to do a combination of things. And so it's kind of like the Dave Ramsey method. Everybody says, is Dave Ramsey good? Is he bad? I think that to a certain extent he's good, but a certain extent his relationship, his advice isn't for all people. And so you have to find the advice that's for your people. You have to become that. You might have to create it. And that's the beauty of it. If you create it, that's even better because the best solutions are the solutions that you create, not the solutions that you bring from somebody else's creation and then take to your people. Wealth comes through creation, not through competition. So I would
Wait,
know that
wait,
you.
wait, wait, wait. Say that again now. Y'all know how, y'all know if I hear the gospel, I'm going to ask you to repeat it.
I said
Say,
wealth comes through creation, not through competition over what's already
yes,
been created. And so
yes.
I would say know that you're competent. Like honestly, we really like as a community, we really do this a lot better than anybody else. The only thing that really holds us back is the access, and the internet gives us access now. You have access to every single person in this world. Back in the day, artists couldn't have distribution. Now they got distribution, and now you have all these artists who are solid, who are good, who might not have gotten a record label because they're not talking about what record labels want to market to people, but they're still getting a following. They're still getting rich. They're still being able to create a living for their family. So know that you're capable. Know that you can, and just put the time and the work in. It's not easy. A lot of people they think that trading and investing comes in 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. But you're learning throughout the process. You're learning even if you miss and you lose money. You're learning if you might have picked the wrong stock or sold at the wrong time. All those things are going to help you when you reach that new point 10 days or 10 years down the line. When I see people throw these stock symbols across the timeline, I don't even look twice. I'm not looking at your Lucid. I'm not looking at your GME selling at $300 per share. I'm not looking at that stuff because I've already done it. I've already made that mistake. And so knowing that I've made that mistake, now I can do it better. So if you've made a mistake trading or investing, just know that that's just a part of the process. But also know you got to practice too. There's a lot of free practice accounts out there. There's a lot of paper trading accounts out there that you can get access to that are going to allow you to learn this while you do it. And it's okay to practice. Everything doesn't have to be live trading.
Perfect sense. So name three advice then that you would give a newbie, someone that just walk into the market, you know, what is that time frame? What is that? How long do I need to study? How much work should I put in to actually master the market?
Yeah, I would say that, interestingly enough, I think that studying is a continued thing. You always are going to study. You don't ever get to stop. And the same thing will be true with time. You're going to gradually get better. So we want to get you to a level of competency, but you'll never get to the point to where you know everything about everything. But as long as you are, in my opinion, hitting more than you miss, I think you're good. If you go to and you watch professional baseball, and I use this analogy a lot, professional, like to be like Hall of Fame level baseball player, your batting average is like 300, 350. That means you miss 6 times every time you go up. You go to bat 10 times, you're going to strike out 6 times, or you're going to foul out, or you're going to strike out. But people get into trading and they expect to be a 90% proficient. That's not going to happen, because quite honestly, with trading, you can miss more times than you make and still make more money.
Say it now.
I had a week where I might have made, let's just say 3 trades. 2 of those trades didn't work. 1 of those trades made up for all those money and gave me some profit. And so the real win is staying in the game and continuing to refine your process. So I can't say if you read 10 books and you take 60 practice trades, you'll be there. I think you should take those practice trades. I recommend taking about 100 practice trades. About 100 practice trades, and your paper kind of is going to be boring. It's going to be tedious. It's not going to be fun, but you're going to learn by doing and by actually being in the field, as opposed to just reading about riding a bike. It's like they have that theory where it's like you can read all you want about riding a bike, but until you get on that bike and ride, you're going to learn. You're not going to learn. And what's going to happen when you get on that bike and ride? You're going to fall down. And in trading, you're going to fall down. But you don't stop and say, I can't do this. A lot of people who do that, it's because they don't see other people who are successful at riding bikes or who are successful at trading. And so that's why you do have to get into these communities where you see people who are sharing information, who are telling you what they're buying, why they're buying it. They're having these calls in real time. You're seeing that they're having success. You can look at what indicators they're using. You can look at what strategy they're using, and they're going to teach you and they're going to coach you in the process, because it's ongoing. So I do recommend, we live in an era where you can get access to a ton of affordable content. I don't recommend that you start right at Google, because Google can be all over, or not Google, but like YouTube can be all over the place.
All over the place. I call it YouTube University.
Yeah. So I think that YouTube is great to supplement what you paid for, but it's not good to replace what you paid for. So you still should pay for a foundational course, whoever has it. I have some courses in my bio, and I'm going to uniformly walk you through it, how you should learn it. And then you can start saying, okay, well, let me go dig deeper into indicators. Let me go dig deeper into moving averages. Let me go dig deeper into candlesticks. Let me dig deeper into RSI or MACD or all these different things. And so that's what I would recommend you do, is get that foundational education, invest that time in the courses and the content, and then you want to start getting some practice trades in. There's a great book called Options Made Easy. So I recommend that you also read some books to supplement the course that you're taking. And I think if you do that, if you give it a good 6 months, you'll be good.
Hey, you guys hear that? There's not really a time frame when it comes to learning this. You know, it's one foot in front of the other, and you actually grow and you get better at it. So, Todd, some people still say the market was not made for people like us. How do you feel about that statement?
I think that, how do I put this? I think that even if that's true, I think that when I hear that the market back when it was created was not created for us. But what I think you're saying is that the market isn't set up in a way that we can win presently. And I don't think that that's true. So I think that those two statements can be separated, meaning that, yeah, when they started this whole thing, they might have said like, hey, this ain't for them. But the greatest part about the stock market is the stock market doesn't care about your race, your color, your creed, your gender, where you come from, what college you went to, what college you didn't go to, what resources your parents have. None of that matters. especially now that we have access to options, because options allow you to amplify your small money into big money. That is the reason why options are great, because you can start with $100, turn into 1,000, turn that 1,000 into 10,000, turn that 10,000
Mm-hmm.
into $1 million. And that's what, because you have the leverage. The reason why options are so powerful is because they give you leverage. What is leverage? Leverage means that my $100 now has the same power as $10,000 because each option contract is 100 shares. And so depending on what that stock price is, let's say that stock price is $100 and you have 100 shares worth $100. Now, if that goes up $10 per share, now you just made $10 per share on $100 share that you have 100 of, but you only have it in for $100. Your contract costs you $100. So it kind of gets hopefully you guys are following that. But essentially, your $100 investment now gave you the same value of a $10,000 investment.
Yes, sir.
And so the 10% profit is the $1,000. You made $1,000 with your $100 investment. All of us have $100. Some of us might not have the $10,000 to go and get that 10%, but we all have $100, and that's what makes options great. Now, the good thing is, again, nobody knows who you are behind that computer screen, so they can't say, oh, well, you can't buy this stock because of whatever. And that used to be the case. I mean, they could kind of price you out, but now that we have access to fractional shares, that's also gone by the wayside. So it just blows my mind. The amount of money that I make in the stock market compared to the amount of money that these jobs want to pay me blows my mind, because I've had some very, very good days. I want to say the most successful day I've had, I made $100,000 in one day trading AMC. I made $100,000 in one day when the COVID vaccine was released. Most recently, I did a $60,000 day.
Wait, was that Moderna or was that Pfizer?
Well, it actually was the entire stock market, because what I did is I didn't bet on one particular stock. I don't think I'm that smart. Like I had no idea which company was going to come out with the vaccine, and I didn't want to play that game. But what I did, the game that I did want to play, and the reason why I told the story about me investing when I was younger at the last crash, is I knew that a crash like that was a huge opportunity, and there was a lot of money to be made. So the reason why I bought Bank of America was because I saw a lady buy Bank of America when I was working at Edward Jones, and she turned her like 4,000 into like 16,000. And I was like, that's the play. That's the play. Is when you get the recession, you go all in the recession. So when that recession hit, when COVID hit, and they shut down the malls, and they shut down the hotels, and they shut down the cruise lines, and they shut down the restaurants, I just bought a bunch of that stuff. That's what I bought. And so when the COVID vaccine was released, everything shot up like crazy. And so that's how I was able to make the money.
That's awesome. Listen, I hope you guys are taking notes. So, quick question, Todd. At what age do you believe this, and I'm talking about on middle school and on high school, when do you feel they should start learning about the market for
as soon
babies?
as they can read. As soon as they can read.
Yes, right?
Yeah.
As soon as you could put a book in front of them.
Yeah. I mean, and you can, of course, make it so it's digestible for them, but they should be understanding that there's I teach my niece, she's 10 years old, and I'm teaching her how money's actually made. I'm teaching her about business. I'm teaching her about investments. I'm teaching her about rental properties. I'm teaching her about vending machines and all the different things that we do to generate income that don't require us to go clock in and work for somebody else. And so we're trying to recreate their norm, especially the way that my portfolio is set up, where a lot of it is dividend paying income. And I mean, I've created a portfolio for my son, and so he's going to know the companies that he owns. And we're going to learn about those. We're going to talk about those. We're going to point them out when we go to the store. We're going to talk about them when we go to the mall. And we see hey, there's Starbucks. You own Starbucks. Yeah. There's this. And you want to instill that at an early age, because other cultures are instilling that in their children at an early age. They're learning about these things. And you want to make sure that your children are at least on par with the people they're competing with. Because what's interesting is your children aren't necessarily just competing with the children that are in their school. They're competing with children at every school across America. And so you have kids who they wake up and they study from 8 o'clock until 5 o'clock, and they maybe have class on Saturday. So you might think that you're doing well because you're beating the kids in your class, but there's kids over there that aren't stopping. And so that's the kind of intensity and urgency that I have with my son and with my niece and my nephew, where we're teaching them about these things at an early age, because you're never too young to learn these things. Never.
Never. You guys heard that? Listen, the minute they know how to watch Coco Melon, which I believe is a crack. You ever seen when Coco Melon start? These kids go like it don't matter what they were doing, they turn so fast. You need to make the market Coco Melon. You need to create a Coco Melon.
Right.
I'm so sick. Is there any idealists in here? Listen, I've just gave you guys an idea. Go create a stock market Coco Melon for these babies. I've never seen a show I call Coco Melon crack. I'm so serious. All right, so let's talk a little bit about generational wealth. I know one of the things that our vast community is doing, which I am so proud of, especially you guys that are leaders in the market, is you guys are really big in generational wealth. And the idea of, okay, listen, it's not just about now that we are preparing for. We are preparing for our children's. So how do you think as a community, from where we've been to where we currently now are, how do you feel our growth prospects is when it comes to generational wealth?
I feel like this kind of, I guess, rallying cry started about 4 to 5 years ago. And I've seen so many people achieve massive success lately. So I want to say, like, coming up on the pandemic, through the pandemic, and presently, I've seen people manifest what we've been projecting and working towards since the beginning 4 to 5 years ago, when these podcasts were being created, when this YouTube content was being created, social media content took a spin. You started seeing way more business and a lot less backsides. And so what's interesting is just to see what we've accomplished, but also how far we have to go. And so for me, my business has saved me. And now it's about saving everybody who's attached to me. So now it's about, okay, Mom, you're working a job. You don't work a job anymore. Now you work with me. Let's build this up. Father-in-law, you're working a job. You're getting to the point now where you want to step out of doing what you're doing in a day-to-day. Let's build up this for you. And then making sure that my wife doesn't work and my mother-in-law doesn't have to work. And we can start saving everybody through generational wealth, because to a certain extent, it's not even just about the kids. It's also about everybody else who's still alive. And a lot of times we forget them. We'd be like, all right, let's focus on the kids, and grandma and dad, y'all got to struggle. So it's like, if we take care of now, everything else trickles down anyway. If you like, the beautiful thing about earning money through assets is assets never die. And so individuals might die, and the jobs that are associated with those individuals might die. But if your income doesn't come from a job or from an individual, the generational wealth takes care of itself. We don't got to even do that. We just got to make sure we're doing what we're doing right now. And so, for example, we're in the process of looking at an office building, my mom and I. And the reason why we're looking at an office building is because it doesn't make sense to lease space. So if we intelligently buy this building, lease out space to other people, they're going to take care of the building costs for us, because that's just what happens. You own a building and your tenants pay off the property for you.
Yes.
Now we have access to the property, but then what happens once that property is paid off? It just stays in our family forever. It never goes away. And all it was a shift in where you put your resources and your time. And so you start to get on the ownership side as opposed to the renter side. I never want to be a renter.
Come on now.
I would just say that the generational wealth takes care of itself. Of course, I have set up different things. So we have the life insurance. I've already talked about setting up things for my son. But I think one hack that a lot of people don't really tap into is, once you get to the point where you're financially free and you're at a still working age, now you start showing up for the other generations. And so I worked in the family office, and the owner of the firm was 72. If you guys don't know what a family office is, essentially it's a family that's just ultra high net worth, and they work strictly to service their wealth. They show up just to manage their investments. They make out loans. They do real estate development. They own office buildings. They just that's their job, is to manage their money. And he was taken care of. His house paid off. Everything's taken care of. I was like, why do you keep showing up? Like, you're good. Your son's good. He's like, I'm working for my grandkids now. And that's possible too.
Yes.
That's possible. The crazy part about it is that and I was talking to my mom about this, but like, we know it's not like people, there are fathers out there who made their kids struggle, who knew that if they didn't make their kids struggle, they wouldn't have to struggle. They just chose to make them struggle. So we don't have to struggle. We just choose the struggle. That's all it is. My son will never have to struggle because he always has me. And so we're not struggling because we are incapable or incompetent or because it's just so hard out here. No, folks legit said, no, I had it hard, so therefore you're going to have it hard. Instead of just saying, I had it hard, so I'm going to make it easier for you, because for some reason we think that by making it easy on somebody, they're going to do nothing. And I don't think that that's necessarily true.
No,
I think that sometimes you just go to the next pinnacle.
Yeah.
And so you have people like Bill Gates and Jeff Bezos who actually came from money. And what do they do with that money? They turn it into billions. We're not giving our kids billion-dollar opportunities because they're still trying to get out of struggle mode. We need to get out of struggle mode so then we can start looking at buildings, and we can start looking at massive stuff. We can start looking at taking things public because we don't need the money, and it's so much easier to build wealth when you don't need it. It's so much easier to build these things when you're not trying to pay your bills with it.
Yes.
So, yeah.
I keep telling them to bring pen and paper. I hope you guys bring pen and paper today. Boy, yes. I'm so in agreement. I don't believe in the idea that our children, like, and I'm going to use myself as a perfect example, you know, even though our parents had money, we never saw it. So that's because of that culture mindset, you know, that you have to make your kids struggle so then they could feel whatever it is that you went through, you know, to make the idea of struggling makes you better. That's not true, because I always tell my daughter that they're not smarter, okay? They're not more talented. It's the idea of resource. So we need to become the biggest resource, you know, for our children. And if they have that resource, it doesn't matter what it is that they want to be. All they got to do is tap into their mama and daddy resource, or tap into grandma's resource, or tap into whatever it is we have built for them so they can actually have that resource. Listen, Todd, you are killing it. I hope you guys took heed to a lot of gems in here tonight. Listen, you threw a lot of gems tonight, and I couldn't say any better. So, Todd, the golden question for the night: are you trading as an individual, or are you trading as an Inc.?
That's actually a good question. I am trading as an individual.
I'm gonna have to have a talk with your mama.
Yeah, you are. You are. That's a good question.
What we preach, okay, the gospel that we preach, okay, in this life is that it's one thing to make this money, it's another, right, to keep as much of it. And we need to be strategic when it comes to Uncle Sam, of how, you know, when it comes to the end of the year, this 37%, we are smart about it. So here's what we teach. We teach our traders that it's important to have two accounts. In IRS mindset, there's only two type of traders. There's only an investor or a trader. All right. You know, earlier you said you are a swing trader. You swing to earnings, right? You pretty much get in, right, and then you run it up. And you probably get out before earnings come, or however way or shape or form. Well, in IRS, you know, IRS only see you as an investor or as a trader. So what we pretty much teach our trader is that, listen, as an investor, you should trade under an individual, but as a active day trader, you should trade as a business. And the best reason why is because you are able to actually deduct all of your expenses under that business. And we also teach them the different ways that they can actually, you know, trade as a business, either that LLC with multiple member or that S Corp with all them multiple member, and able to deduct almost everything that, you know, they use, either that scanner, you know, the algo, or, you know, their your program that, you know, they purchase. They can actually literally deduct that. They can deduct, you know, the books, anything that, you know, that is trading related. Those expenses need to specifically go into that trading business. And we teach them that. Is one of the reasons why is because if you think of it, I lost about over 200, right? and 2021. So then that 200, I would only be able, right, to write off that $3,000, and after 7 years, over. Well, if you are trading as a business, you are able to write off the whole amount of the loss.
Wow.
So it's so important to actually trade as a business instead as an individual. Now, remember, throughout the whole month and last month, I've been teaching you guys there are specific ways to trade as a business. You need to qualify for trader tax status. And we talked about what those qualifications are, right? You need to be trading for 4 hours a day. And that those 4 hours does not necessarily mean you are in and out of calls. Those 4 hours could actually be you reviewing your charts, you reading a book, you watching CNBC. I know y'all have CNBC on all day. So all day, that's 4 hours. When it comes to TTS, as long that you have 720 trades for that year, it's also a qualification. You need to have 720 trades per year, right? So I'm talking about those individuals who are actively trading. So I'm not talking to these leaps, not 2024 holders or an investor. This is why, too, we teach our clients that, listen, if you're going to be an investor, let's put that account under an individual. And if you're going to be an active day trader, let's put that account under an entity. So then having that entity, listen to this. I be seeing y'all fat screens y'all be having. That's actually depreciation. You can depreciate those. You see what I'm saying? So that's actually what we've been teaching our clients, to trade under a business instead of an individual, but to do it the right way. All right. We do have an ebook out there, guys, which is the 6 steps of trading as a business the right way that you guys can actually take. If you go to tax, let me pull it up for you guys. It's an easy 6 steps on how to trade as a business the right way. You guys can actually get that ebook, review it. It's really, really easy when I tell you. The only thing I'm really strict about, guys, when it comes to trading as a business, you got to make sure that you actually treat this just like you would treat any business. I know you guys love your real estate investment businesses, just like you would treat that business is the same way. All right. So get that ebook. Let's actually cut that 37% tax that you have to pay on those every year, right? Let's get it out. Todd gave us a lot of beautiful gems. Now, Todd, if there was 3 people, right, you could have brunch with, who would they be? Who would they be and why, Todd? Who would you have brunch with?
3 people. They would likely all be billionaires.
Hey.
One would be Robert F. Smith.
Okay.
The other will be Kanye.
Really?
And then I think the last one might be Dangote, the billionaire out of Nigeria, and only because they do billions different in Nigeria.
Listen, they do everything different. They do everything different in Nigeria.
Yeah.
You ever meet a Nigerian business owner?
No, honestly, I haven't. No.
Oh, they do things really different. And what I love about the way they run business is that they don't really own the business. The community owns the business. I love it. Yes, Nigerians are a little different type of breed. I actually love the way they do things. They really believe in community. They really believe in their community, and they keep it at home.
Yeah.
They keep it at home, which is I love. So you would have an interesting brunch.
Yeah, it would.
You would have an interesting brunch for real. That is awesome. Well, listen, guys, do you guys have? I know I've taken Todd for all myself, so I'm gonna allow you guys to ask Todd 3 questions. Okay, so bring in the questions. Don't write the question those on the chart on the chat. Throw them in there for me so I can ask for you guys. Okay, I always try to share my guests. You guys know how I am. Try to take him all to myself, but I'm gonna allow you guys to ask Todd 3 questions. All right, throw those questions out there for Todd. Okay. Yes, T-Corn, they do things big, big. Them Nigerians are a different type of breed. I'm trying to tell you. They are. All right, let me see if I have a question here for you, Todd. Tax tips 44949. What type of entity? You can use LLC. Now, remember, I always tell you guys, an LLC is not an entity, okay? It's a liability. So it's like an umbrella. It's an insurance umbrella. So you can use an LLC. You want to have a multiple member. So for example, my business trading, my daughter is my second member. I use my daughter, so she's part of the business. Now, if you can use an LLC, the beautiful thing about the LLC with trading, you don't have to pay self-employment tax. You know that 15.9? You don't have to pay. Isn't that beautiful? But if you are going to trade under an S Corp, it's very important that you take payroll. All right? You don't pay tax on the distribution, but you are paying federal tax, so you have to take payroll under an S Corp. I usually tell my clients, depending on the level you are, so we have clients that are trading under LLC, clients that trade on S Corp, and we have clients that are in Inc. And when you get to that level in Inc., you know, your money's a little bit different. So those are the type of entity that you can actually trade on, okay? Hopefully I answered that question for you. Let me see. I think there's a question here for you, Todd. I told you guys don't put them in on the chat because I have to go pull it. Where is that question?
I think I see it.
You see it, Todd? What? I'm gonna ask my own question. What assets do you trade? Do you only trade options and stocks, or do you trade futures or forex?
I don't trade futures or forex yet.
Okay.
Just options and individual stocks. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Listen, Todd said, "Listen, I'm not in that future world yet." So, Todd, tell us a little bit about your community, and if any of us here would be interested in your community, how to actually get access to you.
So we started out when the options course took off and a lot of people were taking options and doing really well with them. I still had a bunch of people who had extra questions. They wanted some direction. They wanted some daily calls. They wanted more interaction. And so we created this thing called the Todd Capital Options Community, and it blew up. It was a huge success. It was buzzing 24 hours a day. I had a lot of really good people who they volunteered and they started leading their own like daily calls, but they would coach people through it individually. So I had a call going like once a day. There's a live daily chat with one of the members. And so, yeah, right now it's just a lot of people just in there talking about what stocks they like, what options they're buying, why they're buying them. And that's pretty much it.
All right, guys. So if you guys are interested in being part of Todd community, you guys know how I feel about community. It's so important for you to find a community that fits you, you know, that works with you. Because there's so many amazing community out there, but they're not for everybody. Mm-hmm. So it's so important. Like, you have no excuse. You don't have excuses. You have so many options. So many wonderful individuals are out there that are giving back. So find a community that works for you. Tap with Todd, reach out to him, let him know you're interested in his community, how much more information you could get so you can actually start trading. And not only trade, but make this money. I always tell you, make the money, then come talk to me about taxes. Rich people don't pay tax. Exactly. Tell them, Todd, rich people don't pay tax.
Exactly.
Rich people don't pay tax. Make this money, then worry about tax. So listen, guys, if you want to know more information, how to actually form your trading business, you can actually go to my link, schedule a discovery call. I'll be happy to sit down with you guys and have a one-on-one with you guys. Todd, you were amazing. Hey, listen, I have a good friend of mine that actually wants to actually interview you. His name is Mark, and he is trading with the dummy. Now, Mark is hilarious. You will love actually interviewing Mark. So tap with Mark with Trading with Dummy. He would love to actually interview you. And you were amazing. Thank you so much. I had fun with you. You gave a lot of gems and you spoke to the culture, to the community. Thank you so much.
I appreciate you. Have a good day.
You too. Do you have any last words for the people?
Yeah, I would just say we definitely have a ton of programs that are helping people across all spectrums of wealth building and closing the wealth gap. So we have courses on Turo investing, we have courses on, of course, stocks and options, courses on vending machines, courses on real estate investing, because we do all those different things. I tell people anything that does not look like asking another man for a check, I'm all for it. And so you might not, people, they have people take to what they take to. I've had people take the Turo course and they're like, I love Turo. Have people take the vending machine course, they love vending machines. We also have a credit course in there. There is a few tax courses in there as well, and just in partnership with people.
Your course has everything.
Yeah, so it's called the Freedom Pack, and you guys can grab that. It's at the link in my bio. Everything's at the link in my bio, and you can also check me out at toddcapital.co for the full list of courses that we offer. You can also find access to the online community on in that same store, so toddcapital.co. And then also somebody said, what did that question say? How do you find me? On Instagram, at Todd Billion is my personal page, and then at Todd.Capital is the business page. So we're on the business page right now because we're handling business.
So do me a favor, if you guys want a one-on-one with Todd, listen, go to his bio, schedule that one-on-one. Your freedom package is awesome. Realistically, there's pretty much anything you would want to do that will actually bring income is in there.
Right.
Literally.
We're all about income that doesn't come from a job over here. That's the freedom pack. Hey. So I appreciate you guys all, and I'll see you around the timeline.
All right, awesome. Thank you so much, Todd.
All right, thank you.
Bye-bye.